Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian Ramirez, and on today's episode we're going to go over some sleep paralysis experiences from both me and my friend Josie here. She's a local artist, and we're also going to go into some other creepy stories that we've come across from our own personal experiences. Hi Josie.
Hello. Do you want me to start, or?
Yeah, you can start. You mentioned that you had 3 specific sleep paralysis experiences which had weird phenomena.
Right, exactly. So my first experience, I was a child and I wasn't sleeping in my bed because I was sick, and I was on the couch. I don't remember what time it was, but it was late at night, and at the time I didn't know what sleep paralysis was, so I didn't know what this was. But I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I'm awake, but I'm not awake. And I'm dreaming, but I'm not dreaming. I could see everything around me, but my eyes weren't open.
Okay.
It was...
When you say you see everything around you, did you have like 360-degree vision, or was it...
No.
No? Okay.
No, it was like my eyes were open.
Okay.
And like I could look around.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't look around, but it was like I could. It was like my eyes were open, but they weren't. I could feel that they were closed.
Okay. The only reason I asked that is because there are people who have, like people who leave their body, they talk about seeing in 360 degrees. So I was just trying to see if it was similar to that. But you could see even though your eyes were closed?
Yes.
Okay.
But couldn't see like behind me.
Okay.
So I'm laying there on the couch on my back, and I get this feeling of something scary is going to happen, you know, like this just impending doom feeling, and I feel something touch my face. Right. Like this.
Okay. And
kind of like over and over.
Couldn't see anything.
I couldn't see anything, but I could feel it. And it felt like when a body part goes numb,
right,
and you touch something else, you can feel it, but you can't.
Right.
And so it felt like that. I was being touched, but I wasn't being touched.
Okay. And did you distinctly, besides the hands actually doing that to you, did you actually feel a presence or anything like that, or? You knew
that
something.
Yes. It wasn't as strong as the other 2 times.
Right. Okay.
A feeling of I just distinctly mostly remember the feeling of being touched and being terrified.
Okay.
And not knowing what that was, I thought that was a ghost.
Okay.
Because I've always been afraid of ghosts. So I didn't even know what sleep paralysis was, like I said. And the second time, I still don't think I had looked it up yet. But I was older, maybe 18, 19, 20, something like that. And I'm laying in my bed, this time not sick. You know what else is interesting? Okay, no, actually no. The third time I wasn't laying on my back. But anyway, I was laying on my back again for this one. And the way my bed was, the door to my bedroom was like kind of right in front of me, but I'm laying down.
Okay. So
same thing happens. I feel weird, like something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it does feel like a presence is coming.
Okay.
So and I can see, but my eyes aren't open, so
Right.
I can see in my room, and it's not like in a dream where you're in your house and it looks nothing like your house, but you know that it's your house. You know,
Right.
like there's pink walls and like it's raining from the ceiling and you're like, this is home. It's not like that. Like everything was the same. It was like I was seeing without my eyes. Weird. So I see my door open slowly, creepily, of course. And I hear footsteps coming like towards my bed, and I'm just like, oh crap, something's gonna get me. But I don't remember what happened next or how long that lasted. But I woke up from that, or was able to move again. And then the third time was one of the scariest to me because I actually saw something.
Okay.
So this was in Carolina Beach, and I was sharing a bed with my ex at the time, and the bed was up against a wall on my side.
Okay.
And he was sleeping here. I was sleeping there. I'm asleep, and I start to wake up, feel that feeling again. Something's not right, just immediate. Right. It's just, it's almost...
Does it feel like to you, because this is what it feels like to me sometimes, like right when it's about to happen, it's almost like you can tell, and it feels like an invisible sheet almost just kind of like falls on you, and then you can't move. That's kind of what happens to me at first.
Yes.
It's like an invisible sheet. That's the best way, like a bed sheet. I don't know how else to describe that. Like an invisible bed sheet just lays on top of you and you're frozen.
It's a different feeling. You just,
right.
But it's terrifying. It's like, I never had a panic attack at this point, but it feels to me like a panic attack. It's the same fear that just kind of just hits.
Okay.
And of course, my eyes are closed, but I can see. And I was facing the side that my boyfriend was on at the time. And I see this large hooded figure. Like...
About how tall?
Really big. Like...
Because I've seen something... In one of my previous episodes, I actually mentioned this. And the being was about, I don't know, like 7-8 feet tall.
That's what I was thinking, about 7 feet.
Yeah, he was like 7-8 feet tall. You can't really tell. I was laying down too at an angle, so.
But it was just this huge,
and a lot of
looming presence.
And a lot of people mention seeing those specific beings. And I remember you were going into this. You were saying you couldn't see through it because that's how it was for me.
So dark. Like it was like light couldn't penetrate it. It was like...
what did you call it? Like that velvet black?
Like Vanta Black, I think that artist name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like it's like the darkest thing. It hardly lets any light in. And it was just... It was like a black hole that I was looking into, but it was in the shape of like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
So terrifying.
That's how it was for me, was the particular being that you're looking at. Even though I know the dead center of its mass is Vanta Black, but like... what about the edges? Was there any kind of ethereal, almost like phasing in kind of energy around the edges of it?
I do not recall.
You don't remember? Mm-mm. Okay. It's kind of what, like, I just remember seeing the massive black, but I'm trying to remember the actual, like, edges of it.
So you don't get as scared as I do.
I mean...
I don't know. I remember thinking to myself, it wasn't like, oh, what could this be? And pondering, like, it's in a moment, I'm like, oh, that's the Grim Reaper, and I was thinking that he, her, was going to, like, steal my ex's soul.
Right.
And there's nothing I could do about it. I can't move. So when I finally did come to, I put my hand over on his chest to see that his heart was beating. I mean, I really thought this thing came, it's killing him or stealing his soul or something, and it felt so real. It was so real. It's not like a dream.
Right.
But it is.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've experienced that. I've seen shadow beings, shadow people. There was even one time where, I'm going to put this in an episode. I haven't done this yet, but there was a time I was sleeping at my grandmother's house, and I had woken up. And same thing, a visible sheet feeling, paralysis, and then all of a sudden I could see shadow beings all standing around the bed, more than one. They were just all surrounding me, looking down at me. What was particularly different than any other experience is that they also, like, I could actually see the eyes on these in particular. It was just like white energy, almost, or grayish energy around like where the eye is. No pupils, no nothing. Just
was it glowing or?
Maybe, sort of like a glow. I mean, I have an image that I'm going to use. I might put it up on the screen, just a quick example of what I kind of saw at the time. It was just a quick sketch that I did to show you guys. I'll show you guys that. But yeah, that was that one experience. And have you had any other strange experiences?
Well, I've had other sleep paralysis moments, but they've been brief, and it was more of just like feeling that fear than actually seeing something, hearing something, or feeling something. But I've had moments where totally thought that there was a ghost. I mean, I'm pretty sure my grandma's basement was haunted.
Oh yeah, you were telling me.
Yeah, and I don't know why I felt that. It was something that I brought up to my grandparents before, and I'm sure they laughed it off because I don't know, they didn't try to scare us or anything, but they were like, yeah, there's a ghost here, like, so what, you know? And me, who's always been afraid of ghosts, are like, are you kidding? Why did you tell me that? But I had felt going down in the basement that it was spooky before they told me.
Did you ever feel any weird energy or?
Yeah, it was like.
But you never saw anything though?
I never saw anything. I was always afraid I would. And I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack. If I do, it'll be so scary. I'm just going to die of shock. So thank God I didn't. But the minute you got to the basement stairs, it felt negative. It felt scary.
Yeah, there's a thing about that with energy in houses and stuff. I've gone into some places. I've gone into a cousin's house of mine, and the energy felt different there. And I've seen shadows move and stuff when they shouldn't. And I've heard noises. And houses make noises and things, but in this particular place, it seemed intentional. I always felt like something was watching me. One time I was just chilling out, and then there was an actual something like a noise caught my attention. I ignored it, and I'm like, whatever. And then this time I felt like something in the apartment, like there was like a marble or something, and it just fell off the thing. But the noises kept happening, so that's why it felt intentional. I was like, what? Like something was trying to bug me. So I was like, oh my God. And my cousin was taking a shower, and I was like, damn, I was getting uncomfortable being alone. But yeah, and that's that one experience. And you also reminded me of an experience that I had when I had an ex who actually managed Airbnbs, and she told me that there's this one specific building in downtown Denver that the maintenance workers don't even like going into this building because it's so haunted. And the person who had her job before her, that manager, she was going down with two other people down to the basement, and one of them said, I will meet you there. I'll actually meet you. Give me a couple minutes. I'll see you downstairs. And they're like, okay. They went downstairs, and there was this room there that they had to get past because they were trying to fix or do some maintenance work for the people who lived in the building. And while they were waiting, the door that they had to get through, the doorknob was actually shaking on its own. And at first they were a little creeped out, but they're like, oh, maybe he went around or he did something, and that's just him coming. So they kind of relaxed. And
of course, you
want
to rationalize it.
Yeah, of course. And then he came up from behind them, like the direction where they just came from. And then they were all creeped out. And they're like, if you're over here, then who's behind the door turning the doorknob, like jiggling the doorknob? So they, I guess gathered up their courage, and they opened up the door and they went on through, and there was no one in the room.
Ghosts.
Yeah. And this particular building is where, and she knows I'm sensitive to stuff, and she decided not to tell me, but she wanted us to stay in an Airbnb. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I want to stay in one. That'll be awesome. And we stayed. The night that we stay there, I have a sleep paralysis experience, but I didn't actually remember until she actually told me what I had said. So she woke me up in the middle of the night because she was hearing noises and it was freaking her out. So she woke me up, and I'm like, what is it? And she's like, you don't remember what you said? You don't remember what you just said? And I said, no. What did I say? And she was like, you said that you asked me if I could see them. And I'm like, see who? She's like, I don't know, but you were telling me that you could see them.
I would have noped right out of there.
Yeah. And the strange thing was, this was the only experience I ever had where I actually went back to sleep like nothing ever happened. And once she refreshed my memory, it like all came rushing back. And then I remembered seeing a shadow being standing at the foot of the loft. It was a beautiful place. We were in a loft. It was standing at the foot of the stairs on our floor. And I remember also seeing, it's weird, kind of like how you said you could see all around you.
Yeah.
I could too. It's like I could see down the stairs also, but I was awake. It was weird. I was awake. I could see down the stairs and I could see another being there and I could sense another presence, but I don't think I could see it. So at the very least I could see two, but I felt like there was more there in the building, in the apartment. I don't know, but that was a creepy experience.
I'm curious because I've only seen, like, I guess if you want to call it a shadow person, I guess I've only seen one and you've seen multiple.
Yeah.
Do they always look cloaked like I've described, or?
Yes, I have a theory. I think that because I've heard other people's experiences with shadow beings where they're not necessarily giving off negative energy. One actually calmed down someone saying it was going to be okay. I'm not here to scare you or frighten you.
Wish that was my experience.
Yeah, that's never happened to me. But my theory is that there's certain beings living in a certain dimension and some people can pick up on it. Me, unfortunately. Well, sometimes when it's scary, when it's positive, or when I meet other, deceased loved ones, it's positive. But those beings, I don't remember having a communication. There's just always like fear involved. They didn't ask me anything. They didn't say anything. It was just weird. It was like they were aware that I'm aware. It was very strange. But yeah.
I mean, I certainly didn't feel like the shadow being that I saw was unaware that I was there. I was aware, and I felt, you're right, I feel like it was aware as well.
My theory, because I just realized I didn't say it, but my theory is that I think that they may not all be bad, but that may just be how they translate in our dimension, sort of like almost like an in-between state where you can kind of start making out what it is. They may not actually look like that. That just may be how they actually come across when they're starting to like manifest themselves or to whoever they're trying to connect with.
Right, and of course any human with a human experience, I mean, we're kind of programmed in a way to a shadow thing in my room that's not supposed to be there, bad.
Right, and it's crazy because I was trying to transcend the fear and actually look up and research because I was tired of being afraid, and no one's going to help me. I mean, there's no, as far as I was aware, there's no school for this. Nobody, you have to either know someone or you have to reach out maybe to a medium or psychic, and I didn't feel like I could trust just anyone. So I just started doing some research first, and what ended up happening was I found on YouTube people, thousands of people are having these experiences, and they actually will, they said it's the perfect time to astral project. So that's what I tried doing. The next time I had a sleep paralysis experience, I was going to try to calm down, because that's one of the steps. You actually have to calm down, calm your mind, and then you actually have to think positive thoughts, because they say when you go into that state of sleep paralysis, your body is asleep because that way you don't act out your dreams. And it kind of, for me, it feels like an in-between state, like I'm not fully in my body either.
Right.
And that may be why I'm seeing things. But once you do that, if you can calm down enough, you might actually hear a high-pitched frequency noise, kind of like white static on a TV. I mentioned that in one of my episodes. And when you hear that, it could get so loud you think you're going to go deaf, but you're not. You can, if you just calm down, think like good thoughts, peaceful thoughts, again, conscious reality. So they say what you think about, you'll draw towards yourself. So if you're drawing in fear and thinking about fear, you can draw on things that make you fearful. And if you can calm yourself down, kind of like meditative, or just like, I'm okay, nothing's going to happen, then you can move on to the next step after the high-pitched frequency noise, which is starting to leave your body. There's different techniques. You'll hear about the rope technique where you kind of imagine a rope in front of you and you kind of pull yourself out. There's the rollover technique where you kind of like roll out of your body. It's weird. For me, I didn't do any of that. I just started to float up out of my body towards the ceiling. And it's surreal because when it happens, it's real, but it's such a subjective experience. It's unique to you. You can't really explain that to anyone else. So But yeah, when it happens, you'll know for a fact that you're not your body. That's all I can say about it. I want to do it again because they say you can travel to places, Egypt and stuff like that. I haven't been able to do that yet, but
I think I'd be too scared.
well, I mean, I also want to transcend the fear. I don't want to see what I did there, transcendence. Okay. But I do want to transcend the fear because I don't want to be afraid anymore. I mean, the fear is only going to hold me back. I understand because it's easier said than done, but yeah.
It is easier said than done because spooky stuff has always been spooky to me. And I mean, I've had a few instances in this is where I had when I was living in Carolina Beach. This is where I had the most intense sleep paralysis. There were like weird stuff that would happen. I was I think the documentary was called Soaked in Bleach, the one about Kurt Cobain, and I was watching it and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. Being a night owl and an insomniac forever, I'm just up, you know, smoking weed, watching documentaries. And this is a very small trailer, so it's like it was, I could see right into the kitchen.
Right.
And the faucet turned on.
Oh.
Like turned on.
Right.
Water was coming out. And yeah. I'm like, am I seeing what I'm just staring at it? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? And then it turns off. And I was like, no, I didn't, that didn't just happen. That did not just happen.
You should be curious, and you can, like, I try to approach it now. Like, I never used to be like this before, but I try to approach those experiences now. Like, if that happens, I'm like, well, if there's someone here, can you do that again? And then, you know, if you emanate the loving vibration, if it's a negative entity, they don't like love because love is a higher vibration.
But I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know this at the time. Because I didn't even know how to.
That's fair. I'm just saying now for anyone watching, but I'm just.
I didn't know how to cleanse my house because stuff kept happening.
Right. I cleanse anytime I move into a place now, and you can do that with sage, Palo Santo, but at the same time, even if you're using Palo Santo or sage, while you're doing it, I just emanate, like, I think of happy thoughts, good vibes, the best memories I've ever had. Anything loving, you know, even if you want to do it with music to kind of just change the vibe of the place, so that way it can help like clear the energy. Because if there's something there that doesn't like you, or it's a negative spirit for whatever reason, you know, try to approach them with compassion. Like, you know, I can help you. Let me give you some love. To, you know, and if they're accepting, that might actually help them, and they'll move on, or you know, you can. Or they'll just leave because they don't want to be in that energy. It's even better if you have more people, I think, personally, because just more people emanate more energy.
So, like, expecto patronum, that.
Yes.
Gotcha. Right. When you were talking about the door handle jiggling,
right,
I've had something similar happen as well in the same place in Carolina Beach, and I was with my roommate. This is I think one of the only times that I've had somebody there that I'm like, did you hear that too? Or did you see that too? Because it's usually, when you're by yourself, you're like, you know,
yeah.
And you can't check with anybody. Did I hallucinate? Did I, you know, and we're sitting there, we're on the couch, we're chilling, probably watching a documentary or Gilmore Girls. And the door handle to the front door, well, technically, we use it as the front door. That doesn't matter anyway, back door, whatever. Like just jiggles violently, like somebody's just went up to it and it's like, ah, you know. And I looked at him and he looked at me and we were like,
right.
I mean, somebody's there. That wasn't the wind.
It helps when you have someone there with you. So
yeah,
for validation.
Because I'm white, I went to go investigate, and there was like one of those little triangle window things. Right. I looked out there and I didn't see anything. And I did this very quickly, so I didn't wait. I mean, there's no way that there was somebody there and they could have run off that fast without me seeing them. And I opened the door and there's no one.
Right.
I mean, nobody is there. So what was that? I also heard somebody cough once, like clear their throat, and I was the only one home. from like the living room when I was in the bedroom, and I was like, all right, I know what that sounded like, but maybe I was like, no, that it was unmistakable, somebody
Right.
clearing their throat. And so I eventually did do a cleansing because I started looking things up to see like, okay, what can I do? I'm not religious, so I'm like, where do I find a priest? So I looked it up myself, and I got some sage, and I cleansed the house, and nothing happened after that. There were no more instances.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could have cleared it, but
Yeah.
That's all for the better, though, because I wouldn't want to experience that stuff. There was one experience that my mom shared with me where she was given a bag, like a purse or something, as a gift. I wasn't with her at the time, and I was at my grandmother's house, and she was alone. I think she was with my brother, actually. He was a kid at the time, a young kid. And she was given this purse, and she was told by like a medium or something later that whoever gave her that gift did something to it because they don't like her. They don't like her energy. So they try to, I don't know, voodoo, something. They try to influence the energy of the gift.
She knew who gave her the purse, right?
Yes, she knows.
Did she stop being friends with them?
Well, she also had weird vibes whenever she met them. So she didn't, it's like, always trust your gut feelings about people, because she didn't really trust the family. It was someone she was dating, I think. So,
okay.
But anyway, it gets weirder. They gave her this purse, and she put the purse up on a shelf, and then all of a sudden, she said something about the time. Like she noticed the time, she looked at the time, and it was like 12 o'clock. And as soon as it hit 12 o'clock, I don't know how she noticed it right at that moment, but this is how she told me the story. The purse flew off the shelf, opened, there was a knock on the door, like three knocks. She's like 3 knocks on the door, and she just froze. And then she went to go look through the keyhole, and she couldn't see anyone.
She did not open the door.
No, she didn't open the door.
She's smarter than me, okay.
Yeah, she didn't open the door, and I just kind of instinctively knew. I was like, I wouldn't open that door, because I feel like it's almost like you're letting energy in, whatever it is.
Yes.
And that's a weird thing, but you're kind of scared and you kind of want to open the door, and she's like, Chris, I'm not crazy. And I've had more experiences than my mom has had. So we have a little terror over here.
I thought she was going to go after the light.
Maybe.
Or knock it over or something.
She's good. She's
all right.
Graceful sometimes. But I again, just emanating love vibration, instead of fear. And definitely wouldn't antagonize them. That's why I kind of like, ghost hunters are interesting, at least the ones that are respectful.
Yeah, some of them are kind of rude.
Yeah, they're very disrespectful, and they get messed with. And usually nothing super bad happens to them, but at the same time, there are stories of entities following people home. So, I mean...
always protect your energy.
Yeah, I mean, they might be particularly challenging to get rid of depending on the circumstances. So, yeah. I wouldn't do that. And Josie's a super talented artist, and she's going to give you her information where you can check out her artwork. I'll put some examples up on the screen here so you can check her out. Highly recommend.
I do whimsical pieces, stuff with like a witchy feel, landscapes, all sorts of mediums, watercolor, gouache, pen, pencil.
Yeah, sweet. She actually did one of the pieces for one of my previous episodes. It was the woman astral projecting. I'll put that up on the screen as well.
Yeah, awesome. I have an Instagram. I have a website. I have a Facebook. It's Golden Forest Creations.
Golden Forest Creations?
Yes.
And is that the actual website? Or?
Yes, the website and the Instagram and the Facebook. Yes. And also on TikTok.
Okay, sweet. Same name?
Same name.
Okay.
Awesome. Hi.
You're a booger.
Don't do I?
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, test number 1. Hello. I just want to see what I look like, and then Test.
Obviously, I look fabulous.
Oh yeah, I may want to shave.
I feel like we're gonna have more bloopers though. So this is fun.
Maybe. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Test.
We've got a lot of dust on your skin.
What the f are you gonna do about it? I just know that I can do about that.
There is nothing you can do about it.
It's like at a weird angle
And it's a popcorn ceiling. You can't just like dust it.
Yeah, I know. Let's play something. Sleep paralysis stories. Test. Say something.
Ghost stories. Probably gonna help me not sleep tonight. Test.
Testicles.
Oh.
Hold on.
I don't remember where we were. Just start over?
I'm gonna erase that.
Okay. Don't look at me and laugh.
Damn it. And until then, I'll catch you guys on the other side. It gets worse sometimes, and I honestly believe that they feed off of the...
Stormy, hi.
It's gonna be a little blooper. But anyway, and that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it was informational. I hope it reaches out to people who had similar experiences themselves. Be sure to comment in the comment section below if you have any experiences you'd like to share with me. And very exciting to read other people's stories. It makes you feel less crazy. But other than that, be sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified when the next episode comes out. And until then, I will catch you guys on the other side.